Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start on the third row, and this is where we are really changing things. We have the second one put on. We're not going to worry too much about little things right here because remember, those paintbrushes will get rid of those, okay? So you can just wipe those into the creases. You want to resist taking a pencil and going through and doing this. Do you see that? Right? This is not good. It doesn't look good, and it makes these really deep grooves in the pot. And so inside here, when you dip it in glaze, we have these big 5-gallon buckets of glaze. It won't get in these creases. The glaze is like too thick. And so you'll have places you'll have to go in and like paint all of this. But you want to resist that. The paintbrush this is why you have a paintbrush. So you can get rid of those little things without destroying your pot with a pencil. Okay, so resist that. As you're going through and putting these on, you might get to the point where you're like, oh no, what do I do? Right? I'm at like a funny point here. And so sometimes you have to shift things around. Sometimes you can like pull them further apart and you can get it to work. Like this one, I think if they barely touch, I don't have to put another one on there. Okay, but I had to shift one over each direction to kind of fill that gap. Okay, so now it's very possible that I have holes in here through this direction. Like you'll see holes here. You really do have to hold the back side of this and press to get those to stick on. If you just lay the two pieces together, they're not going to bond as well as if you press them together. Okay, but you do have to support the outside of it. Okay, we're going to continue to blend. So we're going to take the blending tool here, support the back of it, and blend on the inside. You really do have to kind of press with this hand to support that wall. If you only press with the inside, then you're going to probably split the wall. Okay, if you press really hard. So make sure you push back when you blend. You can't go down here and blend later. So you got to do it now. Okay, so I've got that row ready. You're probably getting pretty good at these small slabs by now. You can take that piece, squish it in your hand so it's round, roll it in your hand so it's round, and then roll it enough on the table up and down, okay, to get that into the right shape that you need. Okay, and you'll be able to cut those. So now we're thinking about the third row, but the second one that we don't have to cut. We're going to do the same assembly line where we make a bunch of pieces, the same assembly line where we're scoring and slipping. It doesn't make much sense to just score and slip one piece here, score and slip one piece here, and then put this together because you have to set the tool down every single time. Okay, you might as well take this and go on the inside and score the entire thing, right? It's not going to take that much more time to do that. And then it's like all prepped and ready. So you're doing like one step or one stage at a time. So all of that would be scored and slipped. Okay, and then same thing with these. Make sure you do the V's. Like this one wasn't a real pretty one, but guess what? I'm going to hide it, right? I'm going to put that part underneath and put the part that I like on the top because that's the part that you're going to see. Okay, and I'm just going to do a section of this because the rest of it you can see how that's going to go. We're going to put slip on the inside here. You can use that paintbrush if you want to. It is nice. It gives you a little more precision. Oops. So I'll do that here. I've got that done on the inside here. So now, again, like I said yesterday, we are looking at the outside of this pot. We are not looking at the inside. Okay, we want to look at the outside while we're placing these so you can adjust them. Okay, so you can, instead of having it look like this, you can hide all of that underneath. Okay, so you'll continue to do that as you go around. You'll put those on. Okay, we are going to start leaning these out. Okay, so instead of having these go straight up and down, this is the way that you move the wall, is that you're tipping them outward. Okay, so instead of having something going straight up and down here, it's gonna turn and go out. We are trying to make this 5 to 6 inches wide. So if we look at this and we use a ruler, okay, and this layer can go out as well. Okay, but that is the way that you change the shape of this pot. You lean them out, you keep them straight up and down, or you lean them in. Okay, one way or the other. Out, up, or in. Okay, so think about what direction they are at. Okay, so you'll continue to do that. We do want to look at the most common problem with this project. Okay, is putting these pieces, people are working on the inside, so they continue, I'm not going to score and slip these, but they keep putting these pieces on, and they keep putting them on, and then they realize, oh my gosh, my pot's not getting any bigger. Okay, or it's not getting any taller. Okay, and they just keep going. And what happens is the pot starts to grow in and it doesn't grow up. Okay, so look at this problem. If you were looking at the outside of this pot, you would see that these are like barely peeking over. Okay, I need eyeballs up at the front, guys. Yes, we see my hand? Okay, so you've got to make sure that you raise these up as high as possible, because you could use 2 to 3 times as many pieces as your neighbor if you don't do that. Okay, and then, I mean, that's way more work on your part. Okay, so think of the difference, or look at the difference. If they're barely poking over, right, that's one way, but this is super slow. And then this is another way where you have that full shape. Do you see the difference? You're getting like another 1/2 inch every row if you do it this way. Okay, and that's what you want to, that's the biggest problem that we have is they don't get any taller because people are so busy looking at the inside that they don't see that they're barely poking over on the outside. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. We would still do the same things that we did before. Support the back, blend the inside, all of that. Okay, keep looking at the outside, take a paintbrush, and you can smooth out some of those other places. Okay, resist using a pencil or even like this carving tool or something to dig or gouge into the pot. You want to have it like this where you have lots of height differences. You don't want to blend so much that you smash this and you can only see the texture. If you can only see the texture and you can't feel the texture, then the glaze could very much cover up your design. Okay, so you want to make sure that you can still like feel it and you're not, some people I don't think they realize what they're doing when they pinch or smash or push on something. Okay, so be careful in that aspect. And then if you have questions, the best thing to do is to raise your hand and ask. Okay, you've got to, you know, make sure that you are getting what you need, okay, to be successful. But on the opposite sense of it, if you don't have anything to show me, like if you tell me I can't make any small slabs, but you don't have any small slabs in front of you, then I'm probably going to ask you to try first and then let me see what you have. Okay, so then I can assess why you can't make them. Why is it difficult? Okay.